Joey and I, what do you call it? Planted the time capsule at Nickelodeon.
We did.
You dated like all my friends, but never like even hit on me. So that's weird. But
well, he knew the future. He didn't want to, he didn't want to muck anything up.
Yeah, I didn't want to mess up the future. I can see things. I don't want to scare people, but I can actually see things. No.
But you came down to Orlando for two things.
I did.
You were there with Kelly Martin when she was shooting the movie with John Goodman.
Really?
Matinee.
Really? I don't.
You were there?
I don't even remember that.
And I think you came to visit her, and we went, and I danced on a table at Hard Rock Cafe at Universal Studios.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I remember the time capsule.
And I became close with Kelly, and then Love too. You came down, or maybe you brought Love down when we were doing the time capsule burying.
No, I think that was before, because the time capsule was like 90. What was it? 92?
Yeah,
I think it was
early.
92.
Yeah, 91.
91,
like
92.
No, you're right. Like 92, 93.
Right, 92, 93. Yeah. Now, are they gonna ever unearth this thing? This time.
It's on my. We talked about it on my podcast, and my producer put in a little thing about.
I know, and I forget now because I thought it was 30 years, but you said it was 35 years, maybe, or something.
130 years.
140 or 50
years.
We're never going to be here.
It's just dust.
I'll be a little long in the tooth.
It's just we'll be in there. They're gonna put us in there. And this is a skeleton. Who's this?
It's Joey Lawrence.
Oh, how do we tell? He's still got the flannel. It's the one thing that lasted.
It's a femur wrapped in a flannel.
Yeah, it's just a femur in a flannel.
There's just bones.
Oh my God, that's awesome and really sad. I don't want to think about myself dying. I want to live forever.
That mortality stuff.
I don't like the mortality. No,
I don't either.
Libby, I don't know what. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'll tell you, not to get too somber, but like,
Dude.
I think as a guy, like I never really thought about that. And then I watched like my grandmother pass away.
Yeah, I know.
And like
Well,
all
in
of a
life,
sudden,
when you
it
start
was like
seeing-
the first
Yeah.
really close member of
Yeah,
our family that I
it's-
watched literally pass away. Literally
really-
watched it.
it's really rough.
And then I just thought I was
Yeah.
dying for a decade. I literally thought like, oh my God, I'm gonna die.
I know. When you start to
Well,
lose,
you were
lose
when we were doing
family.
Melissa and Joey, you were a germaphobe. Is he
Yeah,
like
I
that
know.
guy?
He still is a hypochondriac.
I'm not a
I
hypochondriac.
swear to God, if you sit anywhere in a room and somebody's a doctor or a nurse, my brother Joe,
He gets
he
really
turns, he goes
excited.
wide-eyed. He's like, "Let me tell you something. My blood pressure is this. Did this chart look normal to you?" I swear to God,
you
it's
will
bizarre.
on
had a
a
lot of
corner
pressure on me a long
and usually
time, yeah.
force the nurse, the doctor out of the house party wherever
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
at.
Hey, wait,
Wait,
I'm
but
not
let me say
done.
that he's like that in a lot of other places too. So get this. So I have a really funny story about Monte
Can we edit this?
Carlo.
I'm kidding. No, go ahead.
No, I don't know if you know. Like, so there's this funny
Probably
story I
not.
tell that I never have told Joe, but like,
Perfect.
we were in a limo on our way to like the film festival in Monte Carlo, like the Monte Carlo Television Fest,
That's
and ABC
right.
Fan Kids there.
That's
but
right.
instead of taking, I got so mad at you that you didn't take your wife, you took your manager. Because I cashed in my 2 first-class plane
You know
tickets.
who did that? My
before-
manager was like, I have to go with you. We have this big deal to discuss. And I was like, I guess so.
You should have brought your wife. You're like, no, it's business. I'm like, no, this is fun. So I cashed in my 2 first-class plane tickets, and I took
You
6
brought
girlfriends.
your whole gaggle. Your whole gaggle
I
of
brought a whole bunch of
friends.
girls, 4 friends, my sister and me, and we were in Monte Carlo. And I mean, we rented dresses and jewels. They gave us rosé. They gave us 3 hotel rooms. And we had like this free, amazing, glorious vacation. But every night that we had to go to a different event,
I was with my
Joey and I
manager
were
alone.
yeah. No, he would knock on our door when you'd go to bed at night. He'd be like, "Hey, you guys up for partying?" We're like,
My
"Let's do it."
manager?
Oh, no! That's
He would knock on our
hence
door,
now
like,
we know why the manager wanted to be on the trip.
Oh, God.
He wanted the
We're like,
vacation.
we're going to Jimmy Z's to dance with some astronauts. Want to come? And he's like, "I'm going with you guys."
We're going to Jimmy Z's to dance with astronauts. Listen to what you just said.
I know, it's a-
Wow.
I got so many stories about that trip. But wait, I have to tell
I
this
was
one
always
about
an old
you.
man. I was like, I'm going to bed. See you.
Oh, you were so an old man. I'm like,
I
come on,
told
dance.
you.
You're like, I'm going to bed. But we were in a car together, and every night I was only allowed, because I wasn't supposed to have that many people there, I was only allowed to bring one guest with me in the car to each event. So this one night, my friend Amy's going with us, and I don't really know. I haven't dug into her past or what she does, or, all this
Turns
stuff.
out she's an
And
arms
I'm like-
dealer. Oh.
I decided just to screw with Joey. I was like, because he does what you guys said about the doctors. He does that with everybody. Like, tell me more about what you know about cars. You know about Ford. Like, oh, I love Fords. Let's talk about Fords or whatever it is, right? He wants to talk about. So he was in the car, and I said, I'm going to screw with Joe. I told my friend, I kind of like winked at her, and I said, this is my friend Amy, and you said something like Amy what? Or I said, oh, her name's Amy Chase. You know, Chase Manhattan Bank. She's of the Chase Manhattan Bank family. Meanwhile, totally making this up. It's totally a lie. But I'm like, in my head, I'm trying to think of a cool name that would she could be, you know, not a Vanderbilt, but something fake. So I'm like, this is Amy Chase, Chase Manhattan Bank. And you were like, really? So what do you think about bonds these days?
Oh my God.
And she goes, because I said her husband.
I thought it was an expert.
Oh, no.
I thought it was a damn expert. You know?
Well, she thinks she's an expert, and she starts digging in. And my friend can't stay with it. So she goes, actually, no, that's not what my husband does. She couldn't play along, and I was like, oh well.
my
and so
God.
she gives up, and he goes, he gets so bummed. He's like, oh, whatever, okay, you're just messing with me now, great. And I was like, and then he turns to her, he goes, so what does your husband do? And she goes, he owns Gulf Oil in the U.S. And you were like, so what does he think of the price per barrel? And then you literally asked her that. And I was like, first of all, that's how I learned about it. I was like, I'm sorry, he did what? He does what?
See? I found her out information about her own friend.
Oh.
Yes. My God.
I don't think like that. It's funny, but you were just like, what's the price per barrel? I was like, you know, so it's not just doctors. I would say it's all around. You're like, you're just interested. You're like, tell me more. Teach me something.
Yeah.
Like,
That's right. I'm always
global
learning, man. I'm always learning. That's why my mind hurts all day long because I'm constantly learning. I'm like a sponge.
I think it's because you don't
Well,
sleep.
that's the other thing you and I
don't
have in
sleep
common
well.
is that energy with no caffeine, right? That like
right.
nonstop energy. No
That's
caffeine.
another thing.
Okay,
Mel and I have nuclear energy. People
you
always
both are like that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
She's
so
the
you're
same
like
way.
Joe?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
She burns
I don't
hot.
know how he does it. I have no clue how this man does it. With the kids, the no sleep, he still has more energy than I do. I don't get it.
He's like straight edge. He's total straight edge. It's like a straight edge, clean, crazy. Yeah.
I am.
And
It
you
works.
like eat like crazy amounts of food and
It's true.
love
Very
Aquaphor,
clean
right?
food.
Aren't you like all about the Aquaphor?
Aquaphor is good, you know, for lips and stuff. Yeah, you put that on there, and you know, for like if you have cracked hands, Aquaphor is
Speaking
great.
of
you know?
Aqua, I did an episode of this is really random, but this is just reminded me of Aquaphor on the lips with Gary Sinise. What was he on? NYPD or like New
Oh
York?
yeah,
NCSI New York. Yeah, so I was on that show.
CSI New York. I was on the show.
I know. Well, this
Yeah.
is the thing. So I'm on the show, and I had this big crying scene. I'm crying, and you know, I'm emotional. So he comes up. He's like, "Wow, you got a lot of tears in there. That's really impressive." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You know, do I recognize you?" I'm like, "Well, you might know my brother, Joey Lawrence." He goes, "I love your brother. He gave me this Aquaphor for my lips, and his lips are shiny. And if you look, he's always got shiny lips." And I'm like, "That's from Joe. Joe totally passed that on to Gary
The best
Sinise."
part about
on
kissing
there.
your brother on TV was that there was like, it wasn't awkward because there was like this layer between us. It was like, okay, because
Good
Our
call.
lips
A
weren't
fake
actually
skin
ever
layer
touching.
of Aquaphor.
it was like, yeah.
When we had to kiss, it was a layer between us,
yeah.
so
Nice and
because it was like
smooth.
kissing
Yeah,
my
it was
brother.
like-
How great is that? That's fantastic. I love it.
No, because we had just known each other so long, and all of a sudden
No, of
one day they're
course.
like, "You guys have to kiss." We were like,
That is awkward.
No, it is awkward. It was totally awkward
course.
because we are.
Yeah.
We're like siblings.
I know.
You know,
We've known
It's
each other
true.
for so
Yeah.
long.
For so long. For
And you're
so
just
long.
like, okay, guys, make out.
I know. Okay. And we had fun. We had the
Oh, it was
scenes were
fun?
so
Wow,
funny.
what is this? Wow. And we had fun doing it, let me tell you.
Stop.
We had fun doing it.
The scenes were so funny. We had scenes where I remember I had to take Mel back in the show to meet my family.
Well, okay, that's enough. Oh, okay.
No, to
Family?
meet my family.
Okay.
And she pretended to be my ex because we didn't want to. Remember that? My ex-wife in the show. Remember who was this like Jersey chick? And
it
that
was Megan Hilty.
It was Megan Hilty, and
she's,
Doris
like,
Roberts
very
was my Nona. Remember Doris, the amazing, great
Yeah.
late Doris Roberts was my grandma, and was my Nona. We didn't want to. We thought it would put her in an early grave if she knew that I wasn't married to my wife anymore. So Mel went undercover as like
that's
and
smart.
she was we had so much fun.
Yeah.
She was hilarious.
New Jersey. Yeah, it was super fun, and like just channeling Megan Hilty in this like fabulous bright
Jersey,
color.
like Real Housewives of Jersey.
great.
Like,
And we
oh my
end up in
God,
bed-
with the big
Oh my God.
it
great.
was.
And it was a two-parter. It was a two-parter, and that's when the episode when we end up in bed together.
That's
Oh.
right. That's right. That's
Wow.
right. In my grandmother's house. Oh, it was great.
Amazing.
Oh, it was so.
It's
It was.
amazing.
I tell you, David Kendall, Bob Young, they really wrote.
No, it's
the
smart.
show was executed so well. Honestly, I'm telling you, I've seen so many clips since we've been off the air, and I can't believe.
Seth Kurland was brilliant. He
Seth
wrote
Kurland
a
was big,
Friends,
he was
and-
EP on Friends for all these years. He was on our show.
and we had a fantastic writing staff. They came up with really brilliant stuff.
Remember
some of it
Ed
that
Driscoll?
let us
They'd
know.
bring Ed Driscoll in for Thursday and Fridays, and Ed Driscoll was. I mean,
Julie
he wrote
Brown too.
what? Oh yeah,
I love Julie Brown as Punch Up. Was
unbelievable.
brilliant.
It's great.
Ed wrote opening monologues for Billy Crystal for the Oscars.
Oh,
And
my
still to
God.
this
Some of the
day,
best
still
monologues,
to this day,
yeah.
still to this day, does most of Leno's stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah, they had great.
We had amazing
That's-
people on
that
that
is
show.
awesome.
Just incredible artists at that craft, because half-hour comedy multi-camera, and I tell people all the time, it's not easy to do. People don't know how to do it anymore. They just don't know how to do it. There's a musicality. There's a
My
song
favorite
and dance.
hashtag is from David Kendall, which is "God bless the funny people."
Yep.
Because they keep laughing and
He would say that all
always
the
says
time.
it. He always,
Yep.
God bless the funny people. I mean,
Yep.
constantly.
Thank you so much for watching this clip of the Brotherly Love Podcast.
For full episodes, go to the Brotherly Love Pod's YouTube channel, link in the description.
And for exclusive weekly bonus content, join our Patreon right now.
That's right, there's a link in the description for that too. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thanks.